Not yet.
Not yet. Well, time flies, eh? Time flies. We have to run memorizing the words, knowing what the words are about, studying together with a video. Okay, what about Isaac? Have you done anything yet?
Well, kind of. I've been studying, and when I was in when I'm traveling in the subway or something like that.
Exactly. That's precisely the way. This type of material is for that. You know, when you are going through the subway, when you are when some people can study in the bathroom, who knows? No, but
Yes.
the idea is that yes, memorize, know new words. The more words you know, the higher your level of English. Okay, so then let's start this class with the. We're gonna check the homework that we did yesterday, the homework that I gave you yesterday, but we are going to discover that definition or those differences through some theory that I'm going to teach you first. Uh-huh. First, I need you to know the specific information that we need because this specific information is going to help you for the future vocabulary and future possible confusion, sources of confusion. Okay? Let's understand. Well, before we understand what is a source of confusion, let's understand first what is emission. Okay? Lessons objectives. What we need to do today is to determine the difference between these concepts by understanding number one, word family. You know, what is the characteristic of these words corresponding to the word family and its characteristics. Definition by synonyms and or antonyms. Okay? This is the first activity that we are going to do in this moment. Okay? This ability will help you uh, for future activities. So let's understand what is a word family first. Mhm. The words that we have in the bottom represent the different word families that we must dominate by now. Yes, which means orange words are adjectives, blue words are nouns and pronouns, yellow words are prepositions and conjunctions, green words are verbs, and finally, brown words are idioms and collocations. The chunks of words that we studied before. No? Let's practice that specific information. What is the characteristic of an adjective in contrast with the rest of the words that we have in this list? What do you know about adjectives? Who can tell me?
Adjectives describe the noun.
Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Let's start over there. Adjectives describe the noun. Great start. And they describe the noun in in any form. It can be the number or the type, the class, your opinion, etc. Adjectives describe nouns. Very nice. What position, in relation to the noun, what position do they take in the sentence?
You think that adjectives are before the nouns?
Nice. Very good. We are going to complete this collage very easily, guys. Number one, they go before the noun, which is correct, but also they go after another component in the list. Which one? Uh-huh. There is another position for adjectives. Remember, make memory.
Maybe connector.
Connector, for example.
To, for example, to grow up.
To grow up. Grow is a verb, not an adjective. Then that's not the one. Who else has a shot? What is the other position? Of the adjective. Imagine an example. Yes, Isaac.
Yeah, maybe after the preposition.
After the preposition, can you give me an example?
I'm traveling on a big bus, maybe.
On a big bus. Okay, so you say that the word a is a preposition.
Yes.
Well, that is almost correct.
Okay.
A is not a preposition. The word a is an article. A, the, and an are articles, and they belong to the family of adjectives.
Okay.
So technically, a is describing the number of nouns. If you say a small kitten, you are describing how many kittens. You see?
Yes.
Therefore, incorrect. That's not the one. Let me help you. I'm going to give you an example, and you tell me where is the position of the adjective. My house is small.
The house is after the verb to be.
That's it.
Yeah.
And this is the standard position of the adjective. The adjective goes after the verb. You see? That's the way we can distinguish a verb versus the rest of the words. Yes, because of the position of the word in relation to the verb to be and the noun. Another very important characteristic of the adjective is that they can go in chain before the noun. They go, or you can use more than one in sequence before the noun that it describes. As an example for this, we have the black small cat. We have two adjectives in composition together describing the cat. And this is what catalogs as a characteristic for adjectives. Technically, this information, guys, is everything we saw in level B1, in the previous level. All this information was about the previous level. Any question? Easy, no? Perfect. Contrasting this information, we are going to go now to the blue section, okay? And I'm going to we're going to use two of these because the blue section contains two types of words, no? Nouns and pronouns. They are very, very related, and people usually confuse them with subject and object, you know? We need to separate these concepts massively. I am going to try not to saturate you with the grammar. I'm just going to give you the position of the words. So this is technically fundamental information that will help you for stop thinking in Spanish, okay? To stop thinking in Spanish. So let's go now with nouns. What information do you have about nouns?
Maybe the nouns is person and things.
Person and things. What do you mean person and things?
A person, for example, she eat Michael. What else? I think is computer, rock, a cup.
Nice. You are very close. You're very close because you are using or you are limiting yourself to person and things. There's something else there. But you are close. You said rock, computer, scissors, Michael, Fernando, Robert. All these are nouns, but what happens if we were talking about love? Love is a noun too, and that's not necessarily a person or a thing.
I think another definition is describe my environment, the word.
Describe my environment. No, descriptions are adjectives.
Okay.
Aha. Descriptions are adjectives. There's another word. Let's try with this one. Again.
Feelings.
Feelings. Well, only feelings? That's impossible, no? Because what happened now to the persons and things, and etc. Let me help you with something. What do you say? Yes, Isaac.
Oh, yes, Silvana says that it's a word that names something.
Oh, Silvana. Bro, exactly. It's a word that names something / someone, because it can be for people too. If I tell you, what's the name of this? What is this?
A bottle.
A bottle. Bottle is a name. You see? If I tell you, what is, I don't know, this. This is my.
You can see that your house,
Click, click.
mouse.
Is my mouse. And mouse is a name. You see? And your name, Isaac, Michael, Silvana, Robert, Fernando, are nouns too. So nouns are names. An easy definition for a noun are names. I would like to use the word naming word. Naming words. What is this? That, as exactly like Silvana said, is a word that gives name to something or someone. things and people. The most important quality of a noun are the two types that exist. You can either count them, you can count people or things, and you can not count people or things. Are you familiar with these concepts? Help. What are the two classes of nouns?
I think the pronouns possessions.
But you are not following me. Again, I repeat.
Yes, I think that the nouns are the countable and uncountable noun.
There you are. What I was trying to say is, I repeat for Michael, the two nouns that exist are nouns that you can count, like bottles, cell phones, people, children, or things that you cannot count, like water, rice, beans, love, hate. You see? Therefore, Isaac said very accurately, there are countable, countable, and uncountable nouns. Are you taking notes? And that's the reason they go together. Very often they go together with adjectives, because you need to describe and give characteristics of nouns. Any question with nouns?
Not true.
Cool. Very cool. So these are nouns. And then we get the space of pronouns, which are also blue because they have a very close relation with nouns. Every time you speak, especially in English it's very common to avoid repetition. And I'm going to teach you in the following weeks how to avoid repetition in English, not to like repeat yourself and repeat yourself and repeat yourself and repeat yourself so often. For example, when you gave names, let me give you with an example. Fernando is a small town boy who. No, eliminate who. Fernando is a small town boy. Fernando likes to eat chicken wings with his friends, with Fernando's friends, at Fernando's local bar when Fernando has time. I use the word Fernando too many times. In many of these words, we can use what? In order to substitute the word Fernando, we need to say
Him.
he, him, who, etc. Very good. And there you have all these words that substitute Fernando. So pronouns are substitutions that replace the noun. Function of the noun in order to what's the function of the noun? Fernando likes to visit Fernando's grandmother when Fernando's grandmother.
In that case, it's avoid the repetition, no? And
Exactly. In this case and in every case. To substitute the noun, yes, but for what purpose? The purpose is to avoid repetition. That's the reason pronouns exist. And they are not Of course, we can imagine, it's super easy. He, she, it, we, they. Yes, but also the word who, whom, where, what, they are pronouns too. And we don't consider words like that, these, those as pronouns. They are pronouns too. So the family of pronouns is massive too. Don't think that it's super easy and it's he, she, it, and finish. No. There is a massive family of pronouns that you will probably learn in the following weeks. There are some of them that are pretty advanced. Okay. Therefore, we have, or this is how we cover pronouns. After that, we get one of my favorite families because they are very difficult. For that, we will need a massive square. We're going to talk about color green. For watercolor green, what is color green for?
Verbs.
Yes, sir. Verbs. This is a very interesting square because we catalog verbs as what is the first thing you think about when I tell you, hey, what is a verb?
Maybe a word that describes an action.
Action.
Precisely. And you know what? Let's omit the word describes
Right.
because they are not descriptions. There is another family that we will see later that describes verbs. That's why I want to separate this concept right now. But let's make it equal. A verb is an action.
Okay.
Are actions. But also, we are going to add an additional information that we probably have not considered yet. Verbs are actions and or states of being. We are going to talk about that later. Because there are some verbs that don't represent actions. For example, the verb be. If you say, I am a teacher, there is no action in my idea. You see? There's no functionality. I'm not doing anything. I am describing my state of being. I am speaking about my state of being. I am a teacher. I am sitting down. And there are other verbs that gives states of being similar to the verb to be. For example, the verb become, get, feel, smell. They are verbs that are not using actions. They are describing state of beings. Let's talk about that. Go, run, play, study. Examples of states of beings. Be, get, become, smell. This distinction is very interesting because now you can see that the verb to be is part of a family that is very independent from the action verbs, and you will see them in a different way. The dictionary also tells you when a verb is a state of being or a verb is an action verb. In the dictionary, they give you this information usually, so it's very important to keep the difference in mind. How do you distinguish the difference? Well, an action verb is a simple action, and the state of being goes before an adjective. Yes. Is this new for you?
Yes, I haven't heard about that.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome. That's gonna help you correct your sentences. And again, that's gonna help you memorize more words. A lot. Plus that, having this distinction, now we are going to talk about characteristics. Verbs are the only words that have conjugations. Which means they change according to the time and context of the conversation. Yes. What are the contexts of the conversations? Well, I'm going to show you a list of structures that we have been practicing during all the course. Context of conversations are determined by what you are talking about. Yes? The tense of a sentence is determined by the time expression that gives context to it. What type of time expression? If I say, for example, tomorrow. If I speak tomorrow, I need to speak in future. If I say yesterday, I need to speak in past. If I say every day, I need to speak in present. This is the time that affects the verb. And the tense and auxiliary depends on the time expression and vice versa. Here you have 7 types of conversation that we have been practicing. You know what? Now let's, because in this slide I haven't put number 8. So let's go 7 and 8. Yeah. Past before past. Have. Auxiliary have. There you have it, much better. Okay? It says over here that when you are describing, you use the verb to be. When you are speaking about routines, you need auxiliary do and does, and then you need to play with the verb. If it's I go. If it's she goes. And if it's they go. No? Finished actions, auxiliary did for the questions, and then verbs in past. Future plans or actions that happen in this moment is the verb to be plus the verb in ing. I am doing, you are doing, they are doing. Interrupted actions, again, similar to the previous one, is the verb to be plus an ing. I was cooking when the phone rang. The phone interrupted my cooking. I was studying when the lights went off. The lights interrupted my studying. So we use the verb be in past plus ing. Experiences in my life. recent past or unfinished activities, this is a little bit tricky because it doesn't exist in Spanish a lot, but you can use have and has to speak about experiences in my life. For example, in my life, I have traveled to many places around Mexico. Recent past, I have just started my English class. I have just started my English class. And finally, unfinished activities. I haven't done the dishes. They are all dirty in the kitchen. You see? Haven't has plus the verb in past participle. Then we have modal verbs. Will, would, can, could, might, may, can, should, shall, and must. All these modal verbs represent a different context of the conversation, and all of them go with the verb in simple form. And finally, past before past. This is an interesting structure that we don't usually use because in Spanish it doesn't exist. Michael and Robert, you have this very, very fresh. Can you tell me what is past before past for the new guys? Boy, Robert, what are you laughing about? It was all the gossip level. You can do this.
Yes, I tried to find the correct description. Past before past is when past before. Okay, when maybe I found that example.
Try to. I'm going to help you with inspiration. Time expressions before, after, by the time, when. Michael, can you help Robert?
I think the past before past is when, well, I use when try to describe a event and period. For example, I have traveled for many years. That time try to describe a event, many events, maybe many events in the past.
Okay, close. Many events in the past. Okay, you are very close. So you have many events in the past. Let's imagine that you have yesterday I did 2 actions. I brushed my teeth and no, more sequential. I arrived to the office and I drove to the office. Okay? Drove is the past of drive.
Okay.
In what case can I use had?
And arrive?
I had arrived. Why?
I think because it's the past action, the other action, when I leave the officer.
The
The
past
office?
action.
I think.
The past action, the other action, when I don't understand. Use the word first. What did I do first? I drove to the office or I arrived to the office?
Drove off?
Exactly. First I drove. And then I arrived. Well, the auxiliary had substitutes first and after. First and then. And I can say, I had drove for an hour before I arrived to the office.
Yeah.
I had drove for an hour before I arrived to the office. Had gives me understanding that first I drove. And as you say in the bottom, it says use past before past when it's important to give a sequence to a series of actions in a story. It's important and it's relevant to mention that I drove for 1 hour for the story. For the anecdote, it's relevant to say what happens first. In the case of Sylvana and Isaac, have you heard this before?
Yes, I think that I reviewed this topic when I was studying, but many years ago. So I think
Perfect.
nothing usual to use this grammar structure, but yes, I remember it.
Totally true. It's very important to say, for example, you said that you saw it many years ago, but you never use it. That's very a classic problem that happens when we get fluency because we speak English fast, but we are continuing thinking in Spanish and processing information in Spanish because the auxiliary had doesn't exist in Spanish. You know,
Yes,
if you see movies in
yes.
English after today, have you heard people using it?
I hardly ever watch movies in English.
Oh, so that's gonna
Because
be new.
I can understand.
You cannot understand. Wow, so we need to work on your listening.
No, sure, sure. It's something. Well, I think that I'm able, but I'm a little lazy, so I prefer to watch
Yeah,
movies in Spanish.
that happens, especially when we are in our free time. We are like,
Yes,
nah, in Spanish.
yes, I think.
I
It's
agree.
because he can watch and read at the same time.
Exactly. And then you are watching and reading, and it becomes like faster for your mind, faster for your for the mind in that moment. So recommendation: if you wanna go and watch everything that I am teaching you in real life, watch movies in English. You are going to start discovering a lot of information. And you will see one of the reasons I am emphasizing on structure number 8 is because American people use had super often, very, very often, when we don't consider that as a normal structure. See what I mean? So that's the thing. After today, we are going to start normalizing these structures in an everyday situation, and you will see how often American people use the auxiliary had. This information will go all together to our canvas of verbs. Let me check if I need to use another square or I can fit it here. That's too much information. Let me fit it in a different place, no? I will try to fit it in a different place. Or I will pass you this document. That's gonna help also. Okay, but that's gonna be the first part, conjugations. Any question about conjugations? All right, it's easy. All right. So then, with this information, we are going to go through the yellow section. In yellow sections again, we have two different parts. Part 1, which represents prepositions. And part 2, which represents conjunctions. Technically, these are going to be together in a category called connectors. Let's make it easier for you. Can you see this? Yes, it's better now. Prepositions and conjunctions. What do you know about these two families? Anyone? Who knows? Hello? No, nobody knows about prepositions and conjunctions?
Well, I'm not sure. I think that preposition maybe are the group of words that indicates I don't know, like the the place or the
Yeah, the place.
uh, I'm not sure about
That's
what is.
good. Let's take that as the objective precisely. There are two types, okay? They are words that represent the position of the noun in relation to another. That's the reason many people confuse it with adjectives. Because if you say, hey, where is my cell phone? My cell phone is on the table. The preposition is on and is describing precisely where is a place, like you said, Isaac. Right? They represent the position of the noun in relation to another noun. No? The other application for prepositions is the yes, they represent the movement of nouns. For example, there are prepositions of movement that we don't use it in Spanish again very often, but they are very common. For example, into the car, into the pool, onto, which is similar to over, and over is a synonym. Over, above, through, to, they are connectors of movement because the noun is moving at the moment you use a connector. You don't jump in the pool, you jump into the pool. Huh? And you don't travel at your house because at is for position. You travel to your house. To because it's direction and it has a movement. Do you see the difference? So some of them represent the position, the location. Let's colocate a position or location. right? And others represent, you cannot see that. Let's use this one. Position and location of the noun, when others represent the movement of nouns, right? I'm going to collocate prepositions in this place. Let me move prepositions here because there is another application of them, and they go very connected, very close and connected with verbs. Are you familiar to what I'm saying? Verbs together with prepositions, they are?
Phrasal verbs?
Exactly. Phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are verbs modified by a preposition. Let's call it a particle that is usually a preposition. Later, we are going to know what other words can modify a verb. But they are usually used like this. Any example of a phrasal verb?
Get out.
Get out. Excellent. Get out. Another.
Move on.
Move on. Very good. Move on is similar to forget, or forget a problem. What else?
Turn up.
Again?
Turn up. Turn up.
Turn up. Turn up. Exactly. Turn up the volume. Contrary, turn down the volume. What else?
Look up.
Look up, which is the action of putting your eyes on top, etc. Very nice. So yes, you are familiar with these words. Precisely. Okay. So prepositions are used like that. Finally, we have conjunctions. And conjunctions are words that connect similar to prepositions, but they don't connect nouns. Prepositions connect nouns, but let me check nouns over here, right? But conjunctions connect bigger portions of information. A conjunction connect complex portions of information called clauses and or phrases. Of course, for more information, consult lesson 25, okay? Don't worry, we're gonna see that later. Got it? A good example of a conjunction is one of the most popular and the easiest conjunctions is a connector if. If I go to the gym, comma, I will be tired tonight. I call it connector because I can collocate the connector between. And I can say, I will be tired tonight if I go to the gym. So if is a connector. But it's not a preposition. The name is conjunction. As you can see, the connector if is connecting a big portion of information. It's person verb complement, if person verb complement. So technically it's connecting a lot of information. That's the function of a conjunction. Another conjunction is the word unless, which is the contrary of if, although, or very easy conjunctions such as but, and, or, so. And in previous classes we saw nor and yet. Did you take notes? Easy peasy or difficult? Difficult. Anyone? That's much better, I think. That's too much information. Now let's talk about that. Let's write an example. Tomorrow, needs structure number 4, which is verb to be plus ing, or structure number 7, will or might plus simple verb. That's much better, and I can pass you the document later. Yes or no, guys? We are missing only one square. What's the square that we're missing, guys?
Idioms and collocations.
Precisely. Yes, of course. Idioms and collocations, which are also called what's their name?
Chunk.
Excellent. That's correct. So what we're going to do is that we are going to take the chunks and we're going to call it idioms and collocations, which is represented by the cookie. And over here, we're going to call them chunks. Right? This specific family is the family that we talked yesterday about. And there is a lot of information that happens with them. Number one, an idiom is a meaningful group of words that represent a let's say local, no, a native expression, a native form of expression. In the afternoon, I was teaching a guy that is your level, and I discovered one expression, for example, to come to light. What is to come to light? To come to light is when a famous person or a celebrity has a secret, okay? And then the secret is discovered by many people and it starts creating attention. This secret is not a secret anymore. The secret came to light. You see what I mean? Therefore, the expression come to light is an idiomatic expression for the level B2. Do you understand what I have here? Yes or no? And finally, what is a collocation? Yesterday we saw it. Do you not remember? Come on. What is a collocation? Tell me, guys.
I think that is
Oh no. Technical
Sorry.
problems. You can do this, you can do this.
that often are together,
Exactly.
but there's no reason like itself. It's just that it sounds good. I don't know how to explain it.
It's the way they use it. No?
Yeah.
That's precisely they use it. Very, very good. It's a group of words, as Silvana said, a group of words that is are usually together because it's their position, no, their, because it's the way language was built from the beginning. It has, I'm not sorry, a collocation is, okay, much better. It has an etymology reason, an etymological reason. The language has been built like this because of the history of the language, and there is no translation. Usually, they have no translation to another language. They usually, because sometimes they usually have no direct translation to another language. Therefore, you must learn them exactly how they are. And this is our first attempt on the grammar concepts that we need to understand. These are all the grammar context that you need to understand. There's no necessity to use other concepts, like, for example, present continuous and future perfect, you know? There's no necessity on using grammar, I promise you. But definitely what is necessary is to understand this. Minimum to understand the dictionary, you know, and the difference between words. Take your screenshot and take it as a note. Yes or no? Okay. Do you have your screenshot? Are you ready?
Yes.
Cool.
Yep.
Because we are going to do now, we're going to use this as a reference to understand the exercise. With the investigation that we did yesterday of the words that I gave you, we're going to use this information to say what is the difference between the concepts that you have in front of you. Okay? Let's start with the first one, full and feel. What is, number one, the grammatical family that they represent? And number two, the definition, and give me an example. That's going to be objective number 3. Give an example. Okay? Let's start with who? Isaac. How about with full versus feel?
Hello. Yes, I think that well, in the first words, full and feel. Full is an adjective, and feel is the verb.
Good.
The definition by synonyms and antonyms. I didn't do that part. I don't know the synonyms.
Oh, doesn't matter if you have for example, if you say full
Yes.
and you don't have a synonym, probably you can give me the antonym. What is it?
Empty.
Excellent. The opposite of full is empty.
Yeah.
Very good. And then what is the opposite of feel?
Feel like I'm not sure.
That would be tricky, and it's very similar to the other, only that is not the description, it's not the adjective.
Yes. No, I'm not sure. I don't know.
No problem. Look at this. If you observe this list, the word empty exists.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, of course. Look at this.
Yes, remove that. Yes, it sounds.
Read this example. Read it. The example.
Oh, sorry. I had some trouble with my internet. She emptied the bins.
She emptied the bins, which is, as you can see, a regular verb that can be correlated directly with the verb feel. Right?
Yes.
The antonym of it is feel.
Empty. Okay.
Very, very good. So the answer is full is a verb. No, it's an adjective.
Adjective.
Whose synonym is empty. Of course, adjective.
No, it's an antonym.
Sorry, it's an antonym. Whose antonym is empty as an adjective. Very good. Can you dictate me feel?
Feel is a verb. And its antonym is empty also.
Exactly. Empty, but as a
verb? Oh.
exactly.
Oh.
As a verb. There you go. Something important about antonyms and synonyms is that they should and must, no, not should, they must be the same family. You cannot say, fully similar to feel. No. Full technically is not similar because one is an adjective and the other is a verb.
Yes.
Right? So every time you choose an antonym and a synonym, make sure it's the same family so they can be compatible and they can match. Let's give a little moment because Jessie is in the class. Jessie will pass attendance. Hello, Jess.
Hi, thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. How are you?
Good.
So, I will take attendance, please.
Yes, please.
Mike?
Mike, yes.
Here.
Okay.
Oh,
Here.
Mike, thank you. Good night. Robert?
Okay.
Here.
Hi, Robert. Thank you. Good night. And Rafael?
Absent.
All right. And Silvana?
Yes.
No?
Silvana here. Yes.
Oh, yes. Thank you, too. Good night. And Isaac?
Here.
Hi, Isaac. Thank you. Good night. So, that's all. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice night.
Perfect, girl. Thank you very
See you.
much. All right. Who wants to give me the difference between lose, lost, lose? No, lose, lost, lose, and lose. What's it? Wait. The second lose is what?
This is mistake, no?
Here,
Because
no?
Yeah.
you change the E to est.
Probably lose,
It's
lost.
lose, lost, lose, y lose. LOSS.
Let me check because I think lose.
Teacher.
Yeah, we only have one extra. Teacher. Only one extra, brother. Only one extra.
All the people
There's
have a point in the exam.
You always you, Michael. Opportunity is always at the door. Okay, Michael, what is the difference between lose and lost?
I remember. Yeah. Lose is a verb. Lost is the past, the lose.
The past
Uh,
stuff. The past stuff.
Past stuff. Past. And lose is adjective.
Lose is adjective. Very good. Okay. Lose is the first lose is
I think
uh-huh.
I'm missing the word. Another word is LOSS. This is a noun.
Oh, that was the one. Loss. Very good, man. That was the intention. That was exactly the intention. Very nice. So let's repeat. Lose is a Michael?
Sorry, my computer is. I need my chart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Perfect.
Lose is a verb.
It's a verb. Lost.
Loss is the past of the lose. The lost. No.
Yes.
The lose.
Of lose in English. You're talking
Of
in English.
lose.
Yes, but that's not the one I need. Because
No,
yes,
okay.
lost is the past of lose, but there is another word.
Lost?
No,
Ah,
so you
yeah.
say, for example,
Lost.
like the series.
Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha.
What is it?
When you don't find anything?
Which is a let me help you.
Forget, I don't know.
No, but grammatically, the grammatical family. What did it
Ah,
corresponds to?
is at the verb. No.
Mhm. If I give me an example.
I have lost my book.
Okay, in that case, is the verb and is the past of lose. But what happens if I tell you, I was lost?
And now?
Grammatically, I was lost.
No.
After the verb to be?
No. Yeah, is adjective.
Yes, sir. After the verb to be, you need a description.
Okay.
Lost is an adjective. You see?
Yeah.
The one that you told me, loss,
Lost is a noun.
is a noun. And lose?
I think it's adjective too.
Lose is an adjective. As we have similar families, we need to go now to the meaning.
Yeah.
What is the synonym or antonym of lose as a verb?
Oh.
Yeah, welcome to
Somebody
B2.
help me, please.
Somebody help him, please. Anyone with English catalog in their mind?
I think that it could have two interpretations. Like, I don't know, when you say that someone is on a diet and they lose weight, most of the time their skin gets loose.
So you have the both of them.
Yeah, like it's not tied to the body.
Perfect. So you have the antonym for loose. Loose is an adjective. Its antonym is tight. Good. And in the example that you were giving me, what is the antonym or what is the synonym for lose when you lose weight?
The antonym of lose, gain.
Nice. And you said, okay, it has two interpretations, no? Antonym is gain when you gain weight, or the opposite of lose when you cannot something. Where is my cell phone? I cannot
Find.
Exactly. And then we have the definition for lose and lose. Very nice, Sylvie. Now what about lost as an adjective? What is the opposite of it?
Lost. Lost is an adjective.
When you are in a hotel and the receptionist received your cell phone because you left it on the bar. You forgot your cell phone in the bar, and the bartender took your cell phone and took it to the Department of Lost and
Found.
yes, my lady, very good. If lost is an adjective and its antonym is found. And loss is the most difficult one. Who is familiar with loss? Who can tell me an example with loss? That's a difficult one. In a funeral, you normally tell the person, I am sorry for your loss. Because the person lost a family member. I am sorry for your loss. What is the antonym? Opposite of loss. I'm gonna give you the answer. Yes, Isaac?
No, I'm not sure. But could it be a gain or something?
Exactly. One more time, gain. But gain as a
It's an adjective.
wrong. A noun cannot be synonym of an adjective.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Is gain, but similar to loss. Loss is a noun, therefore gain is a noun.
Okay, yes, sure.
Right? All the antonyms and synonyms, they match the same family. Nice, guys. Very good. You see how the example and the position of the word can give you the family and the definition and help you with antonyms, like all this happening in your brain when you learn a new vocabulary. This is the objective of the course. The more vocabulary you can analyze this way, the better. Okay? Complement your homework using this information with the rest of them: advise, alternate, beside, complement, etc. And we continue tomorrow. Okay? Right now, we finished, guys. Good class, eh? Very nice. I'll see you tomorrow.
See you.
Right?
See you.
Bye-bye, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
See you, teacher.
See you. Bye-bye.
Sí, sí, ¿por qué?